This is OPV 122 Online Batch Activity 1. The following presentation is the model of the human brain. Good day, my name is Joannis Sigi. I am going to explain the process that I have followed to create my model of the human brain. Firstly, I would like to explain the function of the brain in the human body. The brain is a complex organ that controls thought, memory, emotion, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every processes that regulates our body. Materials that I used to create my model of the human brain are spaghetti, macaroni, onion, peas, samp, secret sauce, and a straw. I used a spaghetti to act as a cerebrum because it is the largest part of the brain. Cerebrum controls all voluntary actions, for example, walking and speech. It controls all higher thought processes and it receives and interprets sensations from the sense organs. Secondly, I used macaroni to act as corpus callosum. The corpus callosum connects the left and the right hemisphere, allowing a communication between the two hemispheres. Thirdly, I used onion to act as cerebellum, and the cerebellum controls all voluntary movements, for example, jumping, and it also maintains muscle tone, balance, and equilibrium. Fourthly, I used peas to act as thalamus, and I used samp to act as hypothalamus. And the function of the hypothalamus is that it controls taste, hunger, appetite, sleep, emotions, and body temperature. And I also used a secret sauce to act as a pons and medulla oblongata. And the function of the medulla oblongata is to control all involuntary actions, for example, breathing and heartbeat, and also transmit nerve impulses between the brain and the spinal cord. Lastly, I used a straw to act as a spinal cord. The spinal cord, it is protected by the meninges, and the spinal cord conduct impulses between the brain and the receptor and also the effector, and it also serves as a reflex center for actions such as blinking, sneezing, and coughing. 3 aspects I have learned during this creative process. Number 1, I learned how to use my hands to create the model of the human brain, which means as time goes on, I will be in a position to create many things with my hands. Number 2, I learned the critical thinking skills by using a material to create the model of the human brain. And number 3, I learned how to use my brain and also coming up with ideas of how am I going to start with creating the model of the human brain as I did in this creative process. 2 questions that I still have related to the brain. My first question is that which part of the brain is affected when one is under the influence of alcohol? Is it the cerebrum or is it the cerebellum? Because When someone is under the influence of alcohol, they say that they can't maintain a balance, and others says that when they are under the influence of alcohol, they are not in a position to think straight and also make or do correct decision. So I want to know which part of the brain is affected when one is under the influence of alcohol. The second question that I still have related to the brain is that what is the function of the pons, or one can say what is the significance of the pons in the human brain. One aspect I have found interesting and that I have tried in terms of training my brain. I train my brain by meditating, because meditating trains my mind to focus and redirect my thoughts. It also reduces stress and develop concentration. Meditation changes the structure of the brain, and meditation also increases self-awareness. That is why most of the time people who meditate often are more aware of their thoughts. This helps me to become aware of my thoughts, the way I think, my feelings, and my desires. It can also help me to have more thoughts. This awareness is very critical when it comes to decision making, like in the now and also in the future.